When I break down why I'm so disgusted with what Shonen Jump just did with their latest cancellation right now, you're gonna be like, oh my god, what the heck is going on? Make sure to subscribe and hit that bell because you gotta be notified when there's some BS going on around the world of anime and manga. But fam, y'all don't even know right now because we got a whole bunch of stuff. First of all, we finally got the official halfway mark sales for all of the manga of the industry. A new Dragon Ball Super trailer with Goten and Trunks got everyone going nuts. As I said, a cancellation that has me absolutely disgusted, and there's just so much more that we gotta go into in this episode of ForneverWorld, the only news source that provides anything and everything anime and manga related, and we don't bore you. We get into it. Let's do it.
No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done.
Yeah, people, I am gonna lie. This episode, we gotta start a little bit on 10 because I can't start off with love when I'm upset in terms of what Shonen Jump just did to Ayashimon. In case you don't know, the creator of Hell's Paradise had a new manga, Ayashimon, that had a lot of potential. Same scenario you've heard time and time again that I reported of like Hungry Joker, Barrage, Iron Knight, Red Sprite, you name it. The cancellations of the series that have the potential because the Japanese readers aren't immediately gravitating, it pisses us off. But what they just did with Ayashimon, is there even any point in investing in reading a weekly Shonen Jump manga anymore unless it has a full-on anime announcement or something like that, or it's already completed? Because this is outright like disrespectful towards the fans. Like, this is straight up Shonen Jump saying, you know what, we appreciate that y'all supported for 25 chapters Ayashimon by the creator of Hell's Paradise, very big deal. Screw you, we don't care. We don't care. Or you could even throw it on Nujikaku. I don't know who made the call to do this, but fam, in case you don't read Ayashimon, I'm gonna fill you in on the very last chapter, the very ending of how this series ends. Because you ready for it? You ready for it? It has no ending. That's like if right now in the middle of my sentence and that's vital information that you just missed out on, right? Nah, relax. That was just an editing trick. I didn't say nothing. I just wanted to give you a demonstration of it ended horribly with no ending. That's right, people. Literally, the last page of Ayashimon is just in the middle of a fight. If that isn't cancellation at its absolute worst, nothing is. Like, how do you do that? How do you go into a story? How do you start off a manga and 25 chapters in, it's like, we're in the middle of a fight and that's it. It's like, and I've seen what Shonen Jump has done. They've had some egregious endings. The ending of Hungry Joker to this day kind of ticks me off because it was like, we was in the middle of greatness starting, and then they did this big round table captain, think like Aizen and Bleach with all of the freaking Espada around him. Like, they had this really epic ending, but at the very least, it was like, they tried to give some type of ending. Like, literally, Ayashimon could have been that, hey, we're at that final fight, and whatever, he decides to walk away from boss life or something like that. The fact that they went this route, like, oh my god. Because Ayashimon's final chapter and final page were released, that got everyone crazy, and volume 2 and 3 will be released June 3rd and August 4th, respectively. The series ended abruptly without any signs of finishing the story properly, nor are there any notifications of final chapters continuing on in Jump magazines like Magu-chan did, because there's other series, even going back to Neurorise of the Yokai Clan, when there's not a really good ending in place and there's like a decent amount of invested readers, usually they'll be like, okay, in one of our sister magazines, we'll give you 3 extra chapters so you can wrap this up. They didn't even give him the courtesy of that. They just said, you know what, you didn't do it, you didn't meet our expectations, despite the fact that I felt volume 1 sales were not that bad. And I'm going to actually give you a really good example of why they're not that bad, because we got some other segments talking about sales down in this episode that you're going to want to check out as well. But in particular, one of the latest series from Kodansha magazine, I covered it here on the channel, called Gachi Akuta, just released its first volume, and the first week sales are in. And I'm telling you right now, unless otherwise I state, Gachi Akuta is probably going to continue on and be the next thing in that magazine. But its sales for its first volume after a full week out on stands was about 12,000 some odd copies. I want to say it was like 12.7. I'll have it here up on the screen so you can see it for yourself, but it did around less than 13,000, right? However, Ayashimon from Shonen Jump did, with its first volume, about 16,000 in a full week. And Ayashimon is ending, and Gachi Akuta, a different publication, is not. Now, you could argue that expectations are different. You could argue that maybe in that weekly Shonen magazine release in Kodansha, for them, 12,000 is a lot, but for Jump, 16,000 16,000 ain't a lot, but there's plenty of other series that have continued to go on in Weekly Shonen Jump that did way less than even Gachi Aquata. So it's just kind of puzzling that we're probably within the next 3 to 4 years gonna see Gachi Aquata with an anime and everything, and Ayashimon will be a distant memory. A series with mad potential and Weekly Shonen Jump, really cool characters, cool fights, mafioso stuff, and Yakuza, and all of this really cool stuff, and it's not going to go anywhere because 16,000 ain't enough for Weekly Shonen Jump. And again, you could argue, hey, if that's their expectations and it's their magazine, then so be it. But my whole thing is, dog, you gotta give the readers some type of conclusion. You cannot do this. This is so disrespectful to literally stop. Like, just imagine, I can't, like, imagine Naruto just randomly ended in the middle of, like, the Rock Lee versus Gaara fight or something. Or imagine One Piece ended, like, in the middle of Luffy punching Arlong or something. Like, you would be like, what the hell are you doing? And yes, there were a lot of people that rocked with Ayashimon, so you cannot say that there wasn't any backing. It's just that Shonen Jump is a little bit bougie, fam. Shonen Jump on some bougie stuff in 2022. I don't know exactly what their expectations are, but it appears that 16,000 first week ain't enough, especially if there's no rankings on top of that to back it, and it's such a freaking disgusting shame. This is just wrong, and again, I say this often, but I will just show you guys moving forward of how I am going to react to Weekly Shonen Jump manga that don't have an anime backing. Like, I'm not gonna be the guy rushing to talk about it. I don't care. It's like, it's too painful, and I feel like I'm also cheating you guys out of, like, hey, I'm telling you, yo, this shit is really awesome, and then if it doesn't pan out, then, you know, 4 months later, you're there invested in a series that gets dumped out, and it's like, oh, we gotta start from scratch again. So I'm going to very much so, as much as I love anime manga, try my best to avoid talking about the newer stuff until there's an established fan base, until I know that it's gonna stick around, and that'll take some time sometimes. I mean, look, Masashi Kishimoto's Samurai 8 lasted a whole freaking year in Weekly Shonen Jump magazine, and they still canceled. They threw Kishimoto out the magazine. So we gotta wait and see, but either way, I gotta stress that this is one of the most horrendous cancellations in Jump history. And I'm gonna start doing this from time to time in Forever News. In case you don't know, as of the release of this video, as you're watching it right now, unless you're watching it like a day after it's been posted, Black Clover's manga will return in 1 month, 24 days. And I can't freaking wait, man. I know a lot of people are like, yo, Fonev, where's been the manga reviews and stuff like that? It just doesn't feel right now without Black Clover. And I may do from time to time, I'll talk about a One Piece. I did talk about the Boruto chapter recently. I'm going to talk about Super. I'm going to slowly get back into it, but I think until Black Clover returns, I'll continue on here and there, scarcely doing videos and whatnot on chapters in particular. And when Black Clover comes back, you guys might see a whole new spin on reviewing chapters that I almost can assure you you're going to love. But yeah, Black Clover, a month and 24 days, lads. We're almost there. Our magic gotta be that don't give up on waiting for the return, because yo, dog, woo, it's gonna be spicy. Y'all know how that cliffhanger went down. Then this one I'm going to try to not spend too much time on, because we do talk about sales every freaking episode of Forever News, but this is very, very big. This is a huge deal, I'm gonna be honest with you, because Oricon has released their official half-year comic sales ranking for 2022, the top 10, and things have changed. Things are shaking up. Obviously, there's still another 6 months essentially of accounting to go before we get a full-on demonstration of the most selling manga of 2022. But based on the halfway mark, some familiar faces and then a whole change. Like, at the very least, I would argue half this list is probably different than when we last saw it for the 2021 stuff. So for starters, straight off the bat, number 10, Blue Lock with 1.5. Don't we got the anime coming here soon? Is it next season or the season after that? When Blue Lock's anime drops, it's probably going to affect 2023, being realistic. If it's a fall season, I can't remember, I want to say it's fall, then probably moving forward into 2023, Blue Lock will be top 5. So Blue Lock already showing that another sports series is on the way. And again, I gotta just stress, it's so crazy that that's Kodansha and not Shueisha that has the sports series of this generation. That's a big deal in anime and manga world. Then at number 9, My Dress Up Darling with 1.723 million copies. A lot of people are like, what the hell is even that? I don't know. I'm hearing the anime is like okay-ish or whatever. It's just the title and the art isn't appealing to me. I'm just My Dress Up Darling. I don't know. I can't get jiggy with this stuff, my lord. You like how I did that little blend of, like, you know, the British and the Africanism. Hey. Number 8, Kaiju number 8, 1.858 million copies. Wow. Again, no anime, still doing the damn thing. I gotta repeat, no anime, and still selling big. And that's something that I'm only about 3 or 4 chapters behind. Actually, after I finish this video, I'm gonna catch up with this one, because I gotta start catching up on some stuff. I'm becoming a massive slacker lately, but without Black Clover, I feel lost, my lord. Number 7, oh, finally, the English translation translation of that series that I pronounce because it's selling well all the time. It's Do Not Say Mystery. So Mystery Tolonakari. 2.4 million copies. Dope stuff there. Then, considering the fact that this series ended 2 years ago now, this is annihilation. This is insane that if they dropped one volume right now, it would probably be top 5 with releasing one volume. Demon Slayer, 2.5 million copies at number 6. Do you understand the magnitude of how freaking incredible that is? Like, it ended in 2020. It has not released a volume this year. I don't think it released anything last year. Did it? It might have been one volume last year. I'm not sure. But either way, that is astronomical. That is insane. And that's why Shonen Jump is slowly, going through the anime, because they know they could still rock this for a while until they have to inevitably bring it back. Like, let's just be real. Money-wise, they are bringing Demon Slayer back with another manga. I'm going to keep on saying it. I don't know if it'll be the same type of story, if it'll be like, a different era in the future. They're going to bring that back. Come on, man. Financially, anybody in their right mind would be like, so this ended 2 years ago. It has an anime that's boosting it, of course. That's the thing that made it pop to begin with, but ended 2 years ago, number 6. And this is why Shonen Jump is moving on with that motto of end them now and then come up with the anime later. Look at what's happening with Marshall. If you think about it, it's almost as if they get to double dip, right? They get to get the manga sales, little by little as it's going, and then they get to also have it completed and really push it as if it's an anime original, because a lot of people that don't even know about manga, they're gonna know that, oh, there's weekly updates of the manga. The manga will be done, and essentially it's kind of like they're running off some pseudo anime onlys. Then top 5, we got My Hero Academia, 2.89. I'm interested to see, especially considering seemingly the My Hero Academia manga is supposed to end the end of this year, early next year. Let's see where that lands 2023, 2024, if there's no other manga, because Vigilantes just ended as well. But still, like, I gotta give praise. 2.89, considering the fact that right now I'm noticing that there is a massive switch happening where a lot of My Hero Academia fans are kind of giving it the finger, just keeping it a buck. It's like not as beloved as it was even 6 months ago. Those are still great sales. Let's just see where it's going to go moving forward. I mean, I think in Japan, My Hero is pivoting. Over here in the West, I don't think so. Then number 4, shout outs to Goat Piece, One Piece, 4.1 million. Oh my God, still to this day, no matter what, I don't care. Yes, One Piece used to always be number 1. We're still 4, and we started in 97. One Piece fans, don't feel bad. One Piece fans, don't feel like it's all over. Look at it as, yo, dog, we already like OGs. The OGs is always going to get a spot regardless, and the OGs get a different level of respect. Like, yo, you can respect Spy Family, you can respect My Hero, you can respect Demon Slayer, you can respect everything on this list, but you cannot respect it as much as you respect One Piece, simply because One Piece been doing the damn thing longer than all of them, and is still a king and a god. One Piece fans, I know y'all take this sometimes personal, and that's okay. We gotta accept that. Some people, this is really, really important to them. Don't feel bad that like One Piece is dead. It's not. It's very much so alive, and an OG, and a different category. It's in its own race at this point with itself. Then number 3, gotta give praise though, I'm not gonna lie, Spy Family, 4.8 million copies, 4.835 to be precise. And I mean, yo, it was selling crazy without an anime. The anime is the only anime anybody talks about this season of anime. It's doing numbers. It's going to, could it pass the number 2 spot? I think it could, because the number 2 spot has slowed down astronomically, and it's solely going to be combating Spy Family with like newer volumes that it releases, because coming in at number 2 is Tokyo Revengers with 2.4 million more, I want to say. Tokyo Revengers at 7.2 million. Tokyo Revengers, I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of crazy, and showing and a sign of the times, right? Because, yo, we just did a lot of Shueisha titles. In fact, I want to say a good majority of this one is Shueisha titles, but in order to, at the very least, it is something very notable to say that the number 2 spot is now occupied by a Kodansha manga that's very successful, and number 1, Jujutsu Kaisen, 9.3 million. 6 months. Jujutsu Kaisen 0 did it. Jujutsu Kaisen 0 helped that get there. 9.3 million copies. Oh my God. Hold on. Had to do it for him. I'm just saying that is amazing. Shout outs, and we'll see where this goes by the end of this year, if these things could change around. I'm going to argue that probably there's potential for Spy Family to surpass Tokyo Revengers. Demon Slayer might slide down, I want to say maybe 1 or 2 spots, depending on what Kaiju releases and what happens with Kaiju. I think it's safe to say Jujutsu Kaisen is going to be number 1 at the end of this year, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but the only one that could possibly take it is Tokyo Revengers or Spy Family because they both have a lot of momentum, but Spy Family's so far behind, I don't know if it could get it done in 6 months, and Jujutsu Kaisen is probably still going to release another volume or two that'll accumulate another couple 2 to 4 million, so we'll see. But as it stands right now, top 5, Jujutsu Kaisen, Tokyo Revengers, Spy Family, One Piece, My Hero, Insane. Top 10, very mixed bag, and I like it. Okay, next up, we got a new trailer from the upcoming Dragon Ball Super superhero film, and everyone is freaking going crazy right now over this because Goten and Trunks as teenagers is finally shown for the first time. I'm gonna watch this trailer in its entirety for the first time right now. I've only seen like little bits here and there. I haven't seen the full thing. Let's react. Okay, so we got some text. We got Goku. We got Gohan. Okay, so this is some familiar stuff. Those two. Vegeta. Hey, Pan. Gohan. Again, they trying to sell. Oh! Mystic Gohan. Okay. Gohan really going in. They really pushing this Gohan shit. But man, the CG lad. Ooh! Oh! Yo, that's what people are going crazy for? 2 seconds. Oh, they really pushing this Gohan and Piccolo shit. Wow. People went crazy for like 2 seconds. Goten and Trunks is in that for 2 seconds. And if I'm keeping it real with you, I zoomed in on those 2 seconds. And I'll have an image right here so you guys could just see what I'm talking about. Goten and Trunks, they look cool in terms of like, yo, they finally a little bit older. But the 3D CG at points look so bad. And that's probably why they only showed it for a split of a second, because I saw like thumbnails of it earlier in like the day. And I'm like, what? Why? It's like everything that fans have asked for that they never delivered, they're delivering it, but they're doing it that way, so that way fans is like, oh, we'll forgive the 3D CG because they look cool, but they would look astronomically cool if it was in 2D. Yeah. Like, the trailer is dope. I ain't even gonna lie. The premise of the movie, it sounds cool. It sounds Dragon Ball-ish. It sounds like, you know what? Wow. And because I'm Fornev and I do this here, let me give you guys a demonstration of what I feel like a lot of expensive corporations are doing right now because of the times that we're in, where the political landscape and the world is constantly shifting. But I have noticed with a lot of musical artists in particular that they're releasing experimental albums that some fans are kind of being mixed back and forth about it, and I think it's because they're testing right now. Okay, because right now, which you have no idea how much politics and stuff like that around the world, not just US politics, around the world, really shape certain aspects of what's going to happen moving forward. It kind of feels like, again, this is just a test and an experiment to see where the world is going and how it's received, because they're giving everything fans would want. It's like, yo, everything we promised you, it's finally here, but it's in 3D CG. And again, when you look at a close-up of Goten and Trunks, they look cool design. The execution should have been in 2D and it would have been amazing. And I hope that they redo this movie in 2D. I hope that they've already learned that everybody is just not cool with it and they're actually going forward and already drawing like a 2D version of this arc. Like, that would be kind of sick. Think about it. If they was to do these movies in 3D and then redo the movies from 3D to 2D for the anime. If they're doing that, then I will support this movie through the moon, and I'll support the next one and next one and next one. If it's solely that they're keeping this 3D CG shit to the movies, then why not? Whatever. However, if they start to, we're bringing back Super Anime and it's like this, I don't want this. I don't. But either way, Goten and Trunks finally revealed. Some really epic moments between Gohan and Piccolo, always going back to that classic moment of Piccolo throwing himself in front of Gohan. It's like, since Toriyama won't really get involved too deep with the Dragon Ball production anymore, like, I remember 3 or 4 years ago, he said, yeah, I don't got to do nothing anymore. I got a team now. They have to constantly go back to the iconic moments because they don't have a creative that is going to make them get those ideas that is going to keep moving forward. Like, you've seen the backlash with Super. Like, the average Dragon Ball fan usually says they love Dragon Ball, but they can't get with Super. That's so weird. Although there's plenty of people that love Super too. Now, One Piece fans that are waiting for Film Red, a movie that's going to be an actual 2D animation and that we're all excited about unanimously because it's called Red and it's about Shanks and his daughter, and I'm a father with a daughter, and yeah, like, that's the movie for us, guys. One Piece Film Red will have an announcement that'll arrive on June 8th, and the announcement will be made in a live broadcast on YouTube. What the hell could that announcement be on June 8th? Maybe another trailer, or maybe another big thing, maybe the big villain of the film, or maybe a big plot twist of Shanks somehow, even though, again, that's one of the things that with One Piece films, I'm always like, oh man, like, you know, realistically, they can't go too far into the stuff we really want to see. Like, it would be insane if we're gonna get the big Shanks is what he is, whether he's good, bad, working covert, whatever it may be. see. You're not gonna get that in this film, and that's what they're playing around with the fans. Like, you never know, you never know. I'm here to tell you right now, and I hope I'm wrong, but I'm not, that they're not gonna show you Shanks's card of who he really is in this film. We're probably gonna have Shanks at most for scattered around the film about 15 minutes, him standing around looking cool, saying something. They might tease that he's gonna run into Luffy, but let's be realists. We're going to this film to enjoy a One Piece film. We're not going to this film to get what we expect from the manga. Don't do it. You'll be disappointed. At best, we could get maybe something Film Z-ish. That's the best One Piece film in my heart. So maybe we could get something like that, but don't expect that Shanks is working with the world government, or Shanks despises the world government, or Shanks is Luffy's great-grandfather's uncle's left nut. It's not happening. Nor is that actually happening in the manga either. And quickly, while I got you here, One Piece fans, apparently Oda is recommending some manga, and usually when mangaka recommends something, it's probably because they care, I'd assume, about that manga and that story, because it said here, Akane Banashi Volume 1 is being recommended by One Piece's Eiichiro Oda, and I want to say that's a new series in Jump that just started. I'm wondering if they forced their hands, though, because I've noticed, like, I think it was like Horikoshi recently recommended something. Like, I'm seeing a lot of them recommending different works. It could also be just like friend thing, like maybe the author of Akane Banashi or somebody that's working, like, and you know, some of the staff or the assistants on Akane Banashi are like really close to Oda, and Oda's like, oh no, I need that series to succeed for my mans is over there, shout outs to my man. So that would kind of be dope if that's the case. I just hope it's not the editorial staff at Shonen Jump saying, yo, pick a manga and recommend it, we need to push these things and your word holds weight. Like, that would be kind of lame. But yes, people, One Piece Film Red, June 8th, big announcement. Please be a really dope trailer with some really epic art and animation leading into this film. I want this film. Like, if it's Dragon Ball Superhero or One Piece Film Red, it is One Piece Film Red 10 times out of 10. I'm just keeping it so real right now. I know Dragon Ball fans, don't get mad, but it's that One Piece greatness, baby. Oda, Goda! I put on for my city. Okay, so I seriously want you to pay attention to this one, and I want your perspective on this, right? Go in fresh with this one despite what I tell you right now, because I feel personally like this comes across as a little bit of hate and opportunity. Hate and opportunity on both sides of this one. Now, in case you don't know, I've been championing the author of The Hunters Guild Red Hood. It was a manga that came, it went, it got canceled in Weekly Shonen Jump, but it was absolutely amazing. The last few chapters was so meta, it almost felt as though the author was calling out the editorial staff down at Weekly Shonen Jump. It was phenomenal. Yuki Kawaguchi, and I just recently announced in the latest episode of Forever News that, hey, there's a new one-shot coming from Yuki Kawaguchi, and I'm like, he's gonna be huge. In fact, I constantly throw some praise at him over on Twitter, despite the fact that he never talks back to me. Yo, Yuki, what's that about? This can't be a one-way relationship. But then I see this and I'm like, yo, is this hate or is it love or is it both? Because a part of me feels like it would be in an author's best interest, especially if they have a series in Jump right now and it's like successful but not wildly successful, to probably hold back a potential star, a potential blowing, exploding star of a mangaka that I personally feel Yuki Kawaguchi is. I'm gonna read this to you and please just get a little bit, questioning at the very least. According to Yusei Matsui's latest comment, which Yusei Matsui is the author of, well, formerly the author of Assassination Classroom that ended, and now he's doing that Elusive Samurai manga that, again, nobody really over here is talking about it in the West. I'm keeping it a buck. I don't hear nobody talking about Elusive Samurai. It's doing like mediocre-ish sales over there in Japan, but it's there. And it seems Yuki Kawaguchi, the mangaka of Red Hood, is now working under Yusei Matsui as an assistant for the Elusive Samurai. Matsui is also recommending Kawaguchi's latest work, Nande Nanda-san, which, okay, let me explain, because you're like, yo, Fonev, there's no hate there, no hate. Let me explain. For starters, that is so freaking awesome of him to give him opportunity. That'll also keep him financially stable for the time being until he could come up with his next work. Absolutely great. However, if, let's just say, this job that he has with him has him that he can't work on and focus on his own stuff, is that going to be like Yuki Kawaguchi is kind of stuck under Yusei Matsui's thumb, and Yusei Matsui is kind of big brother, little brothering him right now? That could be my pride, that could be ego speaking or something like that. But a part of me feels like I look at Yuki Kawaguchi as he's going to blow up, whether it be his next series or one after that. I feel like he's probably what Kohei Horikoshi was right before My Hero came out, when he dropped Barrage and that flop. I feel like we're here with Yuki Kawaguchi, and with Yusei Matsui, like, yeah, dog, you under me now, don't don't worry, guys. I got the little guy. That's how I kind of looked at it to a certain degree. But at the same time, I'm also very thankful that, okay, you're keeping him in the business. You're keeping him in the industry. You're keeping him paid. So I don't want to be completely immature about it. But yeah, discuss. Let me know. Do you see any issue with that? Is that too much of my pride talking, lads? Or is it that I just believe in Yuki Kawaguchi so much that I'm like, don't try and block his star because Elusive Samurai, you're going to have to move if you do so. But shout outs to both authors. And yeah, Yuki Kawaguchi, he's working as an assistant on the Elusive Samurai, even though he got a one-shot coming. And before we end this episode, I just wanted to give a shout out to my guy Fooly. He just recently dropped his Seinen Jump album. It's a hip-hop album. I'm actually on there. I'm not rapping. I'm actually just like doing a little bit of an interlude on one of the tracks. Go check it out. It's on all streaming services right now. My guy, I've been rocking with him for a long time. He's been working on this album for like 2 years. It's hip-hop, but it's very anime themed and manga themed, and there's a lot of really good slaps on there. Like this joint Makima. I still freaking love that. And if you're like a fan of maybe artists like Lil Uzi Vert, you might like this one. And yeah, people, those are all the stories we have for today's episode. Curious what you guys think. Most important story, favorite story, anything that you like. Yo, Fornev, go cover that right now. Let me know. That's all I have for this one. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule. Anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace in. And you guys just watched another episode of Forever News. Have an awesome day. Subscribe and hit that bell for all notifications. What are you waiting for, lads? You want to be notified.